Hello, my name is the Honorable Lord Nicholas Weistus from Kaid. I am here to show you some signs that I would use on the rapier field. None of these signs are standard issue. They are signs that I have developed to use on the field, and they are mostly classifiers and signs that deaf people would already know. Let's start. Number 1, first guard. First guard. First guard. That is the guard that's up high, like so. Number 2, second guard. Second guard. Second guard. That is the guard that is as out from the outside of the hand. Third guard. Third guard. Third guard. That is the guard that is our standard on guard pose. Like that. Fourth guard. Fourth guard. Fourth guard. That is the guard on the inside. Number 5, abrasive resistant armor. Abrasive resistant armor is the clothing that is on the arms and the legs. It is signed abrasive, like scratching, abrasive, resistant, or abrasive protection, and then armor is close. Number 6, advancing step. I would sign this in 2 different ways. I would sign this with the 1 classifiers. You step forward and then follow. Step forward and follow. Or with a B handshake. Step forward, follow. Step forward, follow. 1, 2. Advancing step. Number 7, armor. Armor for rapier is basically what you see here with a little extra added for protection for the face and the head and the neck. So we're going to do close and protect. Close, protect. Close, protect. Number 8, armor inspection. Armor inspection. Close, protect, and inspect. Armor inspection. Number 9, authorize. Authorize, approve, or approve, compete. Either one. Approve, compete, or approve, compete. Or another one for authorize, certify, compete. Certify, compete. Number 10, baton. Baton is a long stick. So baton, something like this, is a baton. Number 11, blade. Knife, sword. Number 12, buckler. A buckler is a small shield, kind of like this. This is my arm, my device. And I would sign this buckler, buckler, buckler. With, like, you're holding the buckler with your fist and you're showing the outline of the buckler. Number 13, case. Case of swords means 2 swords, also called Florentine. So double swords is what I would sign. Number 14, cloak. I would sign cloak. Number 15. Number 15, corkscrewing. Corkscrewing is when you have a fighter on the ground that's sitting on the ground and the person that is his opponent will go around him as he comes in. You can't do that. That's illegal. So just like I showed, seated fighter and corkscrew. Corkscrew. Number 16, cut. I would use a U hand shape and cross the body. Cut. Or a an index finger 1 classifier, cut across the body. Number 17, dagger. Dagger, I would do knife, or I would use the sword classifier and show with a G and a stop. So dagger. A dagger, of course, is just a short sword like this. Number 18, debole. Debole, or the strong of the blade, is the part of the sword that is closest to the guard. So you have the sword here, it is this part of the sword here. So I would sign sword, and then this part here. I would show that part of the sword is the debole. Number 19, disengage. Disengage, I would use either a U hand shape or a 1 hand shape, and it's going in a U shape, a U movement. Disengage or disengage, either one. I could actually also use a index finger to show that that's the sword and I'm coming underneath the sword. That's a disengage. Number 20, draw cut. With the draw cut, I would either use the U hand shape or the 1 hand shape, and I would draw it in. Draw cut, or draw cut, draw cut. You could also use it with the classifier, so you could have a person here, and you're cutting like this or cutting like that. That's the draw cut. Number 21, Eric. Eric is of course, our fighting arena, so I would use this index finger in a square and then fight. Number 22, false edge. False edge of the sword is also called the weak part of the sword as well, is the top part of the sword here, where the top edge of the sword where your knuckles are pointing down. And I would sign it sword, blade, and then I would point on top, the top part of the blade. Fighter, rapier fighter, rapier, fighter, fighter. Number 24, forte. Forte, or the weak part of the blade, is the top part of the blade to use for offense, from here to here. That's the weak part. That is the forte. I would sign sword, the G classifier, and then I would use this part of the blade to show. Number 25, gorget. Collar, protect. Collar, protect. Guard. Guard is in a word like the first, second, third, fourth guard. Guard, I would use guard or protect. Either one. Guard or protect. Number 28, heavy rapier. Heavy rapier are using the swords that, like this one here, or even a little heavier. Heavy rapier, I would just sign heavy. Heavy. Number 29, hold. A hold is a stop of action for any type of emergency. I would sign hold, like grasping your fist, hold. Or I would sign hold. Hold. This is the sign for stop. Number 29, lay on. Lay on means start the fight. So I would sign lay on. Commence. Lay on. Or lay on. Number 31, legged fighter. Legged fighter means the fighter has been hit in the leg and must sit down. So I would just say fighter, fighter, and then sit. That's what I would sign for legged fighter. Number 32, light rapier. Light rapier uses epées and other types of swords that are not as strong as the swords I showed you previously. Light rapier, I would sign the sign for light. Light rapier. Rapier is the sword. Number 33, lunge. This is a difficult one. I would sign using my index fingers the step and then a strike with the sword as I'm leaning forward. So step for lunge. Number 34, martial. So I would either do referee, whistle, kind of looks like England, but it's whistle, like you're blowing the whistle, and then agent, or a supervisor. Number 35, measure. Measure means the distance between the two fighters. I would sign exactly that. I would put my index finger here, measure, measure, or I would sign distance, distance. Number 36, parry. Parry means to block. So I would sign parry, parry, with the number 37, on guard. On guard means I'm ready to fight. So my sign would be ready, on guard. Number 38, passing step. Passing step is just a regular step. So I would show either my fingers, the index finger, one passing in front of the other, passing step, or with the B hand shapes, passing, passing step. Number 39, percussive cut. Percussive cuts are legal in cut and thrust, are not legal in heavy or light rapier. A percussive cut means you smack the person with your sword. So I would sign smack or smack, either with a U handshape or with an A handshape, like you're smacking somebody. You could also use the person classifier and smack them as well. Percussive. Number 40, point. The point of the sword. So I would just say point. Point of the sword, which is obviously the point. Number 41, pommel. Pommel, I would use the sign for sword, and then I would put a claw classifier on the back, because the pommel of the sword is this part right here. So I would say sword and pommel. Pommel. Number 42, puncture resistant armor. Puncture resistant armor is the armor I have on my torso, my doublet. It is a stronger type of armor, more strong than the cloth here, has a little more padding. So I would sign the B hand shape and a 1 hand shape, puncture resistant, or puncture protect, and then armor. Armor. Number 43, push cut. Push cut is when you have the sword edge on a person's limb or body or head, and you push with the edge. So you're basically pushing with the edge going out, pushing outward. So I will sign the person, the sword, cut, cut, push cut. Now you could also do it with the 1 classifier too. Push cut, push cut. Number 44, quillions. Quillions are the metal protrusions that come out from the sword's guard. It is these right here. So I will use classifiers to show that. So I will sign sword, and then with a little G classifier showing those are the quillions. Number 45, rapier. Rapier is either rapier with a 1 classifier or with an A classifier. Rapier. Number 46, retreating step. Retreating step is when you want to step backwards, but you don't cross your legs, cross your feet or legs. So I will sign it step back with the 1 classifier, or with your B hand shapes, step back, either way. Number 47, Rigid. Rigid is the hard part of armor. So rigid would be the mask. Gorget is also a rigid part of armor. So I would sign rigid as hard. Hard. Rigid. Number 48. Salute. Salute is not going to be like that. Saluting in Rapier is you start with your sword up in your face and you bring it down. So I will sign it just like I would do it, with either the one classifier coming down, so it's point up and then you move it down this way. Salute, or with a U classifier, salute. Number 49, secondary device. A secondary device is something that is in the fighter's other hand. It could be another sword, it could be a dagger, or a cloak, or a buckler, or baton, something like that. A secondary device goes into the other hand. So I would sign it as other hand thing, or just other thing. Number 50, sloping step. Sloping step is a step that you step diagonally and then you recover. So I would sign it just like that, with either the one classifiers, step diagonally and recover, or with the B classifiers, step diagonally and recover. Sloping step. Sloping step. Number 51, tempo. Tempo is the time required to do an action, like taking a step or a thrust with a lean, something like that. It's a little more complicated than that, but we'll sign it as time. Time. Number 52, thrust. Thrust is simple, just thrust or thrust. So with an A, like you're holding the sword, thrust, or a U, thrust. Number 53, tip cut. A tip cut is exactly what it sounds like. It's a cut with the tip of the sword. It goes down or up diagonally on the body or anywhere. I would sign it as, this is the person, this is the sword, tip cut. Tip cut. So just along the tip of your finger. Tip cut. Number 54, tournament. Tournament is a competition, so I would sign tournament. Tournament. Number 55, true edge. True edge is the edge of the sword when your palm is down. So here, my palm is down. This is the true edge of the sword. This is where most of the power is. If you're going to cut, you cut down. If you cut up with the false edge, like we talked about before, it is weaker, because you don't have the strength of your whole arm in it. So I would sign sword, blade, then true edge, the edge underneath. Number 56, ward. Ward is the same as a guard. So I would sign ward, ward. Number 57, wear edge. Wear edge is a warning that marshals would say if the fighters will get too close to the edge of the eric. So I would say warn and line. So wear edge. Wear edge. Number 58, wound. Wound is simple, hurt, hurt, wound. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this could help in any and every way possible. Thank you very much.